Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Bridge. Hopefully, you're a returning guest, but if you're not and you're new, welcome as well, and hello to you. And we do have a returning guest today, though, by the name of Dennis Bullock. Welcome to the show again, Dennis. How have you been?
Yeah.
Keep it.
Oh, great, and thanks for having me, Casper and Gary. It's a real pleasure to
You're
be
welcome.
back.
It's great to have you back. We always like people who come back. It's great because then we can
Yeah,
explore deeper topics and things. And on that note, I'm going to pass over to you, Casper, and you can go into what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, okay, thank you, mate. And I'll keep it very brief because I'm more interested in what Dennis has to say than obviously what I have to say. So, Dennis, we touched on a variety of topics last time we spoke, and thank you for coming back. I think an area that's so massive for a lot of the sort of people that might tune into our channel is this notion of of 5D, so a fifth sort of dimensional reality as opposed to 3D. And of course, we can touch on 4D and the other dimensions too if we want to, but that 5D seems to be a real focal point at the moment. So given that we sort of touched on it very briefly in the last conversation, I'd love you just to bring more to bear on that and just give us any of your sort of intuitive knowledge based on the 5D area. So really over to you for a second, and if you could start by giving us some thoughts around that, we can pick up the conversation.
okay. Um, well, first, I guess I want to explain a little bit the history of why the Earth is even going to 5D.
Mm.
And that is that um, the Earth made an agreement. Some people call it soul contracts, but the Earth made an agreement for a few billion years to play this game called life in order that souls can come here to experience. Now that's what I got on my downloads. And um, the billion years are up now. So uh, Earth, this is a soul, by the way, if anybody doesn't know, it's alive. And it decided to raise its vibration because it doesn't want to play the 3D game any longer. Okay, 3D is duality. It's good and evil, because they both have to exist for the duality to exist. And it's just there, actually, for the souls to be able to experience the differences between good and bad. So, because if you only have good, only all good, you're not gonna know the value of it. If you never had bad, if you never had it, you're never gonna know the value of it. For you, everything will be normal. So when you experience the bad, you begin to understand the value of the good. Okay. If you're in a room that's all white and you're white, you don't even know that you're white
Mm.
until you see a purple room or an orange room or a yellow room or a brown room. Then you say, "Oh, I'm the white room." Okay.
Mm.
It's the same. It's the same. So the earth is now uh, called many years ago what they may call star seeds. And star seeds are just people that are born into the earth at a particular time to help the earth raise her vibrations. She could do it herself, but it would take longer. It's like if you're moving to another apartment, you could move all the stuff yourself to the new apartment. But if you call your friends, what happens? It gets moved faster. It's the same for the earth.
We're
The
like
earth
box
called
packers,
souls.
then.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
that's what I do as a day job, so it kind of makes sense. Yeah, vacuum boxes.
so yeah, so anyway, the earth now, I mean, we are currently now in 4D, which is more like the understanding of getting the understanding of spirituality, and eventually we'll understand about time, how time works, because now, right now, our time is actually speeding up. It's actually going faster and faster. I don't know if you can feel it. I do feel it, but it's definitely not the same measurement as it was many years ago.
Yeah, yeah, totally resonate with that. Yeah.
Okay. Then so the Earth will be moving through 4D and then it will get to 5D. Now, 5D, information I got on 5D is that, a lot of people even clients of mine ask me, well, what if, I'm in a relationship and my partner doesn't goes on low vibrations and decides to stay on 3D and I go to 5D. Will I be separated? Now, the answer to that was the person in 5D, you have to understand what 5D is going to be. Now, I'm going to explain that first. 5D is going to be literally 60 to 70% of what your soul can do on the other side, but in the physical realm. Now, you can check Google right now and see the Schumann resonance is peaking to like 300 and plus. Okay, normally it's at 7.83, which is the same frequency of the human brain. Now, what that's doing right now is changing your DNA. It's affecting your DNA. And what that's doing, the earth is like preparing this body to be ready for 5D, even though all of us may not be going because of the frequency or vibration we choose to be on more often. So that's what's happening. And when you get to 5D, 5D will be, there'll be no killing of animals, plants, or people. There'll be no judgment of any kind. There'll be no wars. There'll only be peace, only be love. There'll be no lying because everybody will have the power to see your aura. So if you're you won't be able to lie there. And anyway, most people who lie won't be able to get there because they'll be on a lower vibration. Anyway, the whole other point is this: you'll have total telepathy, you'll be able to communicate with rocks, animals, plants, anything. You will be able to cross to the other side and come back.
Wow.
Okay. So it's gonna be something like we've never seen on the human scale. Okay.
In the
And that's what
physical.
yes, yes.
Mm.
And that's what we're headed to. And that's why there's so much action and commotion, because a lot of lower energy entities don't want to see a lot of people get to there, you know. And but in the
Because they're
end,
removing their food source, Dennis, perhaps.
yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. Energy, exactly. You got it. You got it right. So yeah, so this is the process that we're going in, and the earth is asking the souls, which vibration do you want to be on? Because I'm giving you a chance. Because once the earth reaches the total earth reaches the frequency of a 5D, then we will go to two different timelines. Now, timelines are choices. Again, I'll try to explain it in a simple term if people never heard of that. Um, my dead mother came to me and she presented two timelines to me that would happen if I took a certain action. Okay. And now, at first I was like, in my mind, it was like Star Trek. What? Timelines, mom, what? But she's talking from the other side. So I listened to every word she said. So timelines are choices, which means like there's a timeline now that exists that Casper and Gary went to go have lunch instead of having this interview. Now that's out there. That's really out there in the space that exists. Okay. So that's what timelines are about. And we're going to separate into two timelines once the Earth reaches that frequency. One timeline will be 3D duality, and the other time will be 5D. And it won't be like you go to sleep and you wake up and millions have disappeared. It's going to be gradual, like from winter to summer. And it's gradually happening now. Okay. Some people in meditation can even access it a little bit. Okay. You can even imagine yourself there. That's nice practice for you. um, but that's where it's headed. And that's going to be an amazing place. You have a lot of ancient writings that talk about this 1,000 years of peace and harmony. That's 5D. Okay.
Dennis, can I ask a quick question?
Yes, yes.
Just very briefly, because I'm loving the fact that you're elaborating on this, and it's great material and information. There is this two things really. There's the one thing about in our dreams, it appears to me that they're parallel worlds. They're not actually what we've been told are dreams anyway. And if we take that notion to be at least somewhat true, if people find that hard, I'm finding that I'm doing a lot of this work, quote unquote, or having these experiences of the sorts of things you're talking about in 5D in that dream landscape. So I just mentioned that, and we might touch on that. And I'd also love to, you're probably coming to this, to touch on this thing of, is it two sort of physical worlds splitting to some degree, or is it purely that those that aren't moving to 5D won't be seen anymore in quite the same way, or we will only see their 5D representation? Anyway, I'll be quiet now, but those things have come up, so I thought I'd mention.
Okay. The thing is, let's go to dream world. The dream world, you leave your body every night anyway. Okay. You're doing work on the outside, on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay. Period. I want to get that straight. So you can access different timelines when you're out of your body. You can do pretty much what you do on the other side.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to get that clear.
Thank you.
And the other thing you're talking about is that when we split, you're going to have the 3D, and that's going to be the people who are on this vibration. The people who are not on the 5D vibration, you as a person, if you get to 5D, you will have access to have the higher version of all of them. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
But it will be by choice.
Right.
Which means that if your partner went to 3D and you went to 5D, all you have to do is think about your partner, and you will see your partner will be there because you thought about it. That's how much power your mind will have at that point. But it won't automatically happen. It will be because you chose that person to see that the higher version of that person. Okay.
Yeah.
But 5D is a place, it's not an exact copy of 3D, but nice. It's going to be something amazing because we'll be communicating with everything. I mean, everything, a rock, a plant, a lion, a dog, everything. Okay. And there'll be no need, only if you want to eat, really. Because your mind will have the advancement of a soul, which means that you can eat from the sun. You can create, if you want to create a McDonald's cheeseburger, you can, but there'll be no animals that were killed from it. It'll just be a real just meat that's there because you created it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and you'll be on a higher vibration, which will give you a deeper understanding of everything, and you'll be in harmony with nature because that's where the earth wants to be. It doesn't want to do the duality anymore. It's tired of that, and it only did it for a few billion years for the game, which is a few billion years is quite a long time.
Yeah. Do you feel, Dennis,
So,
like when there's this, I guess a lot of people feel when they say, oh, is my partner going to be around, or my friends and things like that? Maybe they often think that it's like someone's going to pass away. But I mean, I'm not sure if
nobody's dying.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a separation. Like I said, we change timelines every 3 minutes. Every 3 minutes, we're changing timelines. Slightly, or a bit this or a bit that, but it's changing. Okay, so it's not like, oh, I didn't make 5D, so now I'm dead. No,
Yeah.
you're still alive. You're going to be alive, but you're going to be in the 3D game. And the evolution of the 3D game is not, in my opinion, is not so nice.
That's
Okay,
just, yeah. It's sometimes I see
okay.
where if I look at my own life and I think my own shifting, it can just be like, I don't know, moving a job, moving, and then you knew those people there, and then you sort of don't anymore, and or you move areas. I see
Well,
that.
it's happening now. Like, for
Yeah.
example, when you raise your vibration, all of a sudden you might lose some friends
Mm.
that you knew for 20 years and they were good friends, and then all of a sudden, boom, you just don't have time anymore. They don't connect with you anymore, and all of a sudden they're not so close anymore.
Yeah.
And that's not because you chose, it's just because your vibration isn't matching anymore.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going on a higher vibration, you're exploring, you're asking the questions that are important right now because we are now in transition. Okay, and that transition is what this whole thing is about. And a lot of dark entities want to show you the most scariest things that they could possibly show you to get you to stay on a low vibration. But if you stay on a high vibration, none of those scary things are going to matter so much. Okay. But the thing is, you have to understand what the media is about. You have to understand what it's all about.
Yeah.
Okay. And like I said, I want to make this very clear. God doesn't hate you if you choose 3D. God doesn't love you more if you choose 5D. It's just one is a shorter road home and one is a longer road home. That's it.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm noticing, Dennis, I don't know if maybe Gary will resonate with this or maybe some of our audience. I'm pretty certain that you get this. I'm sort of having this flickering in and out. Some would call it in the spiritual area, they tend to call this sort of glimpses of that grander experience and so on. But when I say flickering in and out, I mean even just something as banal, lovely, but banal as talking, you'd say something to your cat, and normally the cat wouldn't really respond in a certain way. It would just be like, well, I'm a cat and you're a human. It feels like somehow there is being, a sort of thinning of the veil, I suppose.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
exactly, Casper. Exactly, exactly, exactly. You hit it on the nail just now. Exactly. As we come closer and closer to 5D, we are getting more and more of the symptoms of 5D. More and more breakthroughs are going to happen, more and more scientific breakthroughs, more and more communication with things we couldn't communicate with before, more and more a lot. But that's not to say that the darker or lower vibrations are going to go in more harmony. They're actually going to go worse because they are on a planet, again, that's rising in vibration. It's like a negative battery that's on a positive battery rising. That negative battery is just going to go more and more crazy as the higher we get.
Mm.
Okay. But you hit it on the nail. That's right. You're going to be able to have glimpses even sometimes through meditation, or just you wake up and you for a split 3 or 4 minutes you felt this paradise all of a sudden, this love that you never felt before, and it was from somewhere else, and that is 5D because you're slipping into it. Your body is changing. I repeat that your DNA is changing because we're getting scientifically more and more light is hitting the planet, and that's affecting everything, the crops, that's affecting the trees, that's affecting everything. And that's in a positive way. I want to say, because the higher the planet rises in vibration, the more truth and more clarity. Now, the truth might be some ugly stuff, but it's the truth, and it's there to help us to recover, to help us to grow into a higher vibration, to help us to have more clarity, to change the things we need to change in order to continue with the earth on a higher frequency. That's all. The earth is like really guiding us and helping us and giving us little nudges here and there, you know. So that's what's happening at this point in the game.
Dennis, you mentioned the word recover, and I know that Gary and I are tuning into people who are talking about the profundity and the pain that's going to come with all this exposure, everything, the sort of the lights that you're talking about happening, and we see how, in some senses, how terrible and how awful certain things that have been going on the planet and on these lower vibrational levels have been. Are we able in this lifetime, if we see those sorts of things, to actually recover from that? I'm not really talking from a personal perspective, but I'd love your thoughts on that for the wider population.
Well, I mean, everything right now is happening because of the change. And the powers that be, or that was ruling the planet for thousands of years or whatever, they are losing their power. So they are trying to have even a stronger grip.
Yeah.
But the stronger grip is loosening because they have no control over vibration. They cannot control, one soul cannot control another soul. Never. It's only if the other soul gives permission for that control. It can never control another soul, no matter where you are, no matter what you do. This is a definite powerful download that I got. So all this stuff you're seeing is really, will we recover? Of course, we're recovering now every minute. But the thing is, it's about the choices of vibration you're choosing with what you are seeing. And the thing is, I say it all the time, no matter what's in front of you, do not get into logic. Get into vibration, because logic will have you on the road to insanity at this point. Because nothing is going to make sense, because the vibrations of the whole planet has totally changed. Most, not all, but a lot of people's lives are upside down because of it. And if they would just get on a higher vibration and just allow, they will see that their life will recover and will get back on balance.
Great,
But
thank you.
but if they take the distraction seriously, it's almost like, I think there was a movie. What's the guy with the magic wand and from England?
Oh, Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. It's like that. When Harry Potter was falling, they told Harry Potter, don't take it serious, and you won't hit the ground and be destroyed. And because he didn't take it serious, that's exactly it. He was able to fly. But at first, he was falling like a rock and he was going to splatter on the ground. He jumped off a mountain or wherever it was, a high place. And they said, don't take it serious and you'll be all right. That's exactly it. If you take all the things that are happening too serious, you are being sucked into that energy field. And that energy field is a low vibration. So that's why you have to trust the universe, because that's been always the truth, to guide you to a better place. It's only because if it didn't happen for you, it's because you were distracted and you chose fear, because there's only two, fear or love.
In that sort of moment of fear, that topic, as a lot of people get scared of things like technology and AI, which we've seen boom over the last year or so. And some people say, oh, we're going to like a world that's like the Jetsons, and high tech. And I mean, where do you see technology playing in this 5D? Because in some ways, maybe we don't need it because of the increased powers and DNA changes.
Well, you
Or is
just
it
said
sort
it.
of tandem?
Listen, you just said it.
Yeah.
We really don't need it.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a distraction. It can be helpful if the right intention is behind it. But in 5D, you will not need it.
Yeah.
Okay. You will be the AI. And I'm not talking about mixing human with computer. I'm talking about spiritually. You will be the AI. You'll be using your own powers, so you won't need it. Okay. It is helpful in humans' evolution. But of course, if the spiritual evolution of humanity is not at a certain place, AI becomes a problem instead of a helper. Okay. So, but in 5D, there's no AI. It's not necessary.
Yeah.
Because you'll have telepathy, you'll be able to create certain matter with your mind, with your thought. Like I told you, you have 60% of your soul power, believe me, which is tremendous.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was on the other side, man, the minute I thought something, it happened. It was not even a delay. It just went like that. So you on the other side, you kind of want to be careful what you think because it'll just appear instantly. That's how
I love
powerful
that
you are
idea of
without
all.
effort, without any effort. What's that, Casper?
I love that idea of all answers will be questioned, i.e., that the answer is appearing before even the question is fully formed in your mind. That's the sort of speed that we're talking about.
Yes,
Mm.
yes, yes. And like I said, this has never happened to the earth before. Okay. There's a lot of things in the history that we think we know, but we really don't know. But the truth right now is we're in the transition. And it will be more truth and clarity, but it can get more confusing if you choose low vibration and fear.
Yeah.
Remember, you are a soul having this experience. Your soul it never dies. That's the joy. It never dies. This is like a little roller coaster you chose to go on. And now the roller coaster's getting ready to go even to a wilder roller coaster or a smoother ride. And we're coming to that juncture. And the earth is saying, hey, prepare, which track do you want to go on, right or left? Because if you choose the lower vibrations you've been for the last 20 years, you're going to go on the left. And that's a wilder ride, even than you had before.
Yeah.
So you want to, if you're tired of that ride, then you want to go to 5D. If you're not, it's okay too, but brace yourself. That's all.
Buckle up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Well, I mean, I know that time's always against us. Dennis, I thought that was, it's fantastic to get this material out there at the moment. Maybe I'm not saying my purpose or even necessarily Gary's, but I do feel it is your purpose to be a conduit for this amazing information and actually very positive information as well. So, yeah, I just want to thank you again for taking the time so quickly to come back on and talk to us again.
Well, Casper and Gary, it's a pleasure. And I think you guys are enlightening many souls and people to the time we're living in and answering a lot of questions for them so they don't feel so despair and powerless. This is it. We are powerful. This is an illusion that we don't have any power. The only reason why we don't have it is because if we believe we don't have it, because we are part of God and we are also gods with a big G. And whatever we believe, so be it. Okay, there was a little thing in Indiana Jones, and the woman asked Indiana Jones, "Do you believe in magic?" And Indiana Jones answered, "Well, not really, but there's been times that things have happened that I cannot explain. But it's not rather I believe in magic. It's not what you believe in, it's how strongly you believe it." Okay. And that really says a lot. It's because we are gods, whatever you believe in, you are creating. And I'll say this again, we create our reality every day, whether we believe it or not.
Whether
So,
we want to take responsibility for that or
right,
not.
there you go. There you go, Casper. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, guys, it's a pleasure to be on, and like I said, I hope the information is helpful and useful to everybody.
That's
It's
wonderful. Yeah.
it's a pleasure for me to be able to give it to everybody. Like I said, I was just a singer and a saxophone player. I was not into any kind of spirituality before these two major so spiritual experience happened to me. And so it's a pleasure for me anytime to give any information that I got that can be helpful.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. Yeah. Right. Well, we hope you consider coming back at some point, Dennis. Thank you so much for your time today. Hope you can grab some lunch if you haven't already. Maybe you'll just manifest it. And we'll see you again soon. Of course, there's no time, so it'll be very soon.
Okay, well, it's a pleasure to be back again, Gary and Casper. It's always a pleasure to be on your show. I love your show. I think it's great.
Thank you.
Think you asked all the great questions that we all are asking at this point in time. And I think it's very helpful at this point, in this stage, to help humanity to awaken or open their eyes to who they really are and their true powers and their real choices, not being pushed around by media or government or anybody. Okay. Yeah, so it's a big pleasure. And we're not at that point yet where I can just think it and my lunch will appear, but we're getting closer.
We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there.
All right. Guys,
Right.
love you guys. Thank you for having me on. And anytime I'll be ready to come back whenever you're ready. All right.
Thank you,
Thank you very
Dennis.
much. Take care.
Have
Much
a great
love.
day.
Thank you.
Much
And
love.
you.